Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, Tech1200, call me, I don't really care. Welcome back to World of Tanks. This time around we're on the test server patch 1.18.1. Yeah, new game mode. We're going to take a look at some other changes. We're going to talk a little bit about 6th Sense. We're going to talk a little bit about the new UI for the personal reserves. But first, I wanted to just say something, and that is I just had to reinstall my GPU driver because I had some really bad blue screens of death. That had to do with the GPU drivers that I installed over my old GPU drivers. So always uninstall the GPU drivers with driver display uninstaller in safe mode and get all of those traces out before you install a new driver. Turns out, because I did that, all of the settings were gone. I had to redo the settings. I already made this video, but my audio quality was terrible. I also noticed that my audio quality in the last couple of videos has not been up to par. Turns out my microphone is slowly but surely dying. I've been using this microphone, this Samsung. I'm not entirely sure what it's called, but it was really well liked back then when I bought it. I've been using it for 7 or 8 years now, probably 8 to 9, more on that line, I think. And I think it's slowly but surely giving up on audio quality. I've had some really bad problems. So I am currently investing into a new microphone. Hopefully I can figure that out, a good one, and that my audio quality comes back to life. Just wanted to say that real fast. So, we're going to partition this video into 3 pieces. It's not going to be 3 videos, but it's going to be partitioned into 3 pieces. First, we're going to talk about the 6th Sense. As you can see right here, 6th Sense is now a commander's feature. So, every single commander will have 6th Sense. If you go over to a commander, like on the WZ-132A, you can see right here I have the Russian the Russian Santa Claus. And he has 6th Sense, and now I get basically a 0 perk that I can use. So basically, wherever you have a commander with 6th Sense already installed, in the next patch you're going to get 1 0 perk crew, or 1 0 perk skill that you can use, and that's going to be really nice, especially for vehicles where the commander has several roles, not just commander, but radio operator or loader or gunner. And I think this is going to give you like a pretty nice little upgrade. This is very important. This change is a change that should have been made into World of Tanks years ago, because it's probably one of the biggest issues for the players, for new players, to get the skills on point. And if you don't know if you're spotted, you will always be confused why people are shooting you. So this is a good change. It just took them way too long. I also hope that this is a sign for the end of Crew 2.0, but we're not entirely sure if that is the case. Next topic on the list is personal reserves. This is the new UI. You no longer have personal reserves in your player account tab. It's now over here. You can see all of the reserves I have. So 3,961. You have the 1 hour reserves. Every single one of them is 1 hour. You have the improved reserves down here, and you have the standard reserves up here. So you can see I have 1,097 standard combat reserves, which are 50% to combat experience, and then I have 520 combat experience improved personal reserve. So this is now a little bit better in terms of UI design and placement. And generally speaking, I think this is a UI you can work with, and you have everything there as well. Now, moving on to the biggest topic in this video. I don't want to make it too long because the other recording was, I think, about, I think an hour long. I don't want to make it an hour, but I want to show you guys everything there is to this mode. So if you go into the ranked system, you can actually see that this is the garage. It's a different place. And this is going to be replacing ranked for at least the fall season. So right here you have the debutant rank with divisions, and you have to go through every single division before you can go to the next rank. Next rank is iron, then you have bronze, silver, gold, champion, and legendary. The legend rank is basically a top 10% that there's going to be a leaderboard. Now these are the rewards for the ranks. First one, if you participate in the first one, you actually get like 3 rental tier 10 tanks. It's the M48, it's the Badger, and finally the IS-4. Then you have these camouflages. You get some really cool looking backgrounds for your dog tag. And finally, when you reach the legend rank, you actually get like this nice symbol next to your name and this very nice object, this like what do you call it? Like ribbon that you can place at the front of your name, so everyone knows you are a really good player. You also get like 50 bonds per day if you're in the legend category, as long as you're in the leaderboard. And this is like the final style. This is the final style. I think it looks really cool. It's really black, but if you look closely, it's actually like there's some other colors in here. There's a little bit of gold. There's a little bit of red. And the detail is just really cool. I think it's a bit too dark. I would have liked to see more color, especially the gold camouflage is where I'm really excited for. But it feels like it looks a bit weird. I expect the gold to, you know, be more aggressive, but it's more reflective than anything. Either way, I think this is going to be a nice little skin. I'm looking forward to that. And then we go over to the rewards for victories. This is the rewards that you get, 40 stages. Every single stage gives you like 100 bond, and stage 10, stage 20, and stage 30 will give you some equipment. Improved ventilations class 1, improved gun rammer class 1, and finally you have the vertical stabilizer class 1. And then you can get the improved compressor. Now these wins will not get like they will not be terminated if you lose. It's basically all of the wins you have in this special game mode. This is the leaderboard, and you can see to be in the top 10% right now, because not all of players have played this mode. Like there are like 300 players so far, so yeah, 30 players, 10% are in this mode in the top 10. So that's going to be quite difficult. But what is Onslaught really all about? Let me show you guys the event itself. So Onslaught is a 7 versus 7 ranked mode where you can actually still decide what kind of a vehicle you want to play when you get into the game, kind of like Frontline. You have Fog of War, kind of like Clan Wars. You don't know against what tank you're going to be playing. You have Points of Interest, where there are going to be circles with artillery, comm center, and these two will allow you to either spot the enemy team with the comm center. You're going to be able to spot the entirety of the enemy team for 3 seconds. And the artillery headquarter, you can basically use an artillery strike. So that's really nice. These prestige points, this is really important. These are the points you gain by playing the mode. If you do anything, basically, you're going to get prestige points. Like dealing damage, losing HP, blocking damage, all that kind of stuff. You're going to get these prestige points. These prestige points are really important because you have these charge levels. And every single vehicle has a specific role. Even the heavy tanks and the tank destroyers have different roles in between. These charge levels, 0, 1, 2, and 3, basically will depend on the prestige points you earned. So if you have done a lot more damage, if you do a lot more spotting, you're going to be able to reach the 3rd charge level a lot faster than other players will if they just sit back. So for the heavy tanks, there are always going to be specific like skills that certain tanks have. For example, the assault heavy tanks, they have these field repair, and you can see depending on if you're in charge level 1, 2, or 3, you're gonna get like 300, 400, or 200 hit points onto your vehicle for 10 seconds in a radius of 25 meters, or you're gonna get 200 or 300 if you're in stage 1 or 2. So these are all really interesting. I don't want to go through every single one of them because it's going to take quite a long time. I think we can actually explore them a bit more in depth in a live stream that I plan for at least in the next couple of days when this video has come out. Field repairs is for assault heavies. One for all is basically like intuition, which increases major qualification levels and skills for vehicles in in your area. So this is for the IS-7 and so forth. Bounty Hunter is really interesting because it's for the E5, the MLE 54 and the Super Conqueror, which basically will give you like a reduction in a passive state of reload time for every single shot you've damaged, every single vehicle you've damaged with a shot. It will actually reset the in the activation. You will reset the damaged shots, and for 5 seconds you're going to be gaining HP when you hit a vehicle, and that's going to be quite interesting because you have 5 seconds where you can actually shoot a tank and you're going to get 115 hit points. So that's really cool if you're in stage 4. Focus on target is also quite nice. This is for all the autoloaders. 10, 20, 30% reduction in dispersion. So you're going to be able to hit these tanks very accurately, and you're also going to have a reduction in the reload time in between the shots. So 0.2, 0.4, 0.6 in the different stages. For the medium tanks, you have Fury, where you're going to be doing more damage. You have a higher rate of fire for 15 seconds. And if you manage to do damage in, like, you know, if you are close to the enemy or if you're ramming them and you're closer than 300 meters away, you will actually reset the timer. So in theory, you could do this for an indefinite amount if you always hit the shots perfectly at the same time. This is for the 430U, the E50M. You have Inspire, which increases your combat effectiveness, and it's also for all the other tanks. You can see there's a lot of vehicles in this list. You have Fire Cover, which is an artillery strike, which does damage, stuns the enemies. Sleight of Hand, which allows you to reload faster. This can only work for autoloaders and auto-reloaders. Then to the tank destroyers, you have Straight Ahead, which is actually quite interesting because Straight Ahead will increase the engine power, it will decrease stun duration, and it will increase the damage to modules as well. And when this is active and somebody shoots you, it doesn't say if it pens you, it just has to hit your vehicle. So if it bounces, it will reload, it will actually reduce the reload time by 2 seconds. Now imagine a Jagdpanzer E100 being in front of you, getting shot at, and it has this Straight Ahead activated. It's all of a sudden like shooting back at like 10 seconds instead of 24, because so many players shot him and bounced off of him, and he just wasn't able to, you know, hit back. And if you have like the highest perk, 24 seconds, that's a long time. Now the clean shot, this is actually quite interesting. This is only for the Object 268. I still have to figure this one out because dispersion is going to go down. It's going to reduce quite a lot, so it's going to be a lot more accurate. But also, if you shoot somebody, it's going to like get the percentage, like 60 or 80 or 95% of the damage you have done will be counted to reduce the reload time for the gun. And if you actually destroy somebody, you're actually going to have a reload time that's going to be a lot faster with like 95%. This is something we'll have to look at. It's one of the more interesting perks, but certainly one that is very interesting. Bullseye will improve your accuracy to crazy levels for the Guerilla and the Stritzwagen. And you can actually keep this active just like with the E50M if you do reset the timer and you hit them at a distance of 300 meters. Second Wind increases the acceleration, the top speed, the engine power for 10 seconds. It also increases your hit points. So if you have lost like hit points and you're in the third stage, you get like 75% of the... what is it, like for 10 seconds your vehicle will restore 125 hit points plus 25, 50 or 75% of hit points lost while acceleration is active. So in these 10 seconds, if somebody hits you and you have this active, you can almost get like 50% of your HP back, which is really, really nice. Recon flight, right here, this is going to be spotting. Active recon is for the Panhard EBR, where you can have more view range, like 10% more. And finally, artillery is just going to be able to do the force march, which will improve its mobility. And this is actually quite interesting because the map is a 7 versus 7, maps are going to be smaller, the players, there are going to be less players, and you'll have to be on the move and constantly vigilant when you're playing artillery. So this could save your life. Now, this is like the way you go through. We don't really know how they do the points for winning a game and losing a game. We do know there's a leaderboard, and it does upgrade every 15 minutes. And if you're inactive for a long time, you're actually going to lose points. So be careful. You have to always play a little bit to stay in a certain specific rank. Now, the M48, the IS-4, the Badger, they're going to be the tanks that you can rent. So that means that even players who don't have tier 10s, now you actually have to have one tier 10 to be able to participate in the mode, but afterwards, if you have one, you get 3 more on top that you can play in rotation if you don't just want to play one specific tier 10 tank. Which is quite nice in my opinion, but it's going to be the question if these players are going to be able to handle that kind of gameplay. These are the rewards. You know, you have some very nice inscriptions that you can get, some emblems that you can get. You have to do several things like 50,000 damage of Onslaught, all of these things like little missions, and I think that's generally speaking quite interesting. The dog tags that we have looked at the emblems, the symbols. It's a griffin. It's basically a mixture between a tiger, a lion, and a hawk or an eagle. And that's quite nice. So these are the rewards that you can also get. You can platoon with 2 players. So you can platoon with one other player. You can be like 2 players. Or you can platoon with an entire 7-man squad. But they will be facing other squads as well. There is voice chat, but I've seen it disabled at the moment at least. It's obviously just a test server, so it's not that interesting. But having voice chat in-game, that's going to be quite interesting. And they have made some changes to the maps to make them more successful in this mode. So Pilsen finally gets a little bit of cover in the middle. I think this could just stay in the game. Ensk is going to open up the railway so you can actually pass into the city and onto the field right here. Himmelsdorf is going to get some cover on the 1-2 line, which I think would be a good idea just for the base map. And you're going to get some cover in the middle, and you're going to lose some cover in the 1-2 line. And that's quite nice because we now have like more cover in the middle as well. Sand River, I played this map. There is this little town where there's actually a position, so this is a nice spot. I've played it and I've defended it. I won there, so I had some decent memories so far. We have the El Halouf, where you can finally flip down or drive down this ridgeline without killing yourself. You could do that before, but you had to be extremely careful. Now you can basically do it without any problem. And finally, Wargaming are warning you about not to quit the game and not to be a dick. I think that's basically a given, but I think it's good that they are not handing out anything to players who are inactive or are killing themselves and leaving the battle or anything of that sort. You're not going to be able to rank up by that way, and that's very, very good in my opinion. So I would say, without further ado, let's jump into one of those matches. I have actually played one in my STB1, and as you can see, my STB1 is right now, it lacks like it unfortunately lacks a little bit of inventory or equipment right there. And we're just going to do one thing real quick. I'm actually going to be fully upgrading this STB1 to show you guys, like, what is this? Okay, we don't need that. Yeah, that's great. How important field modifications actually are. And how weird this game mode is if you almost always just kind of play standard World of Tanks. Oh, actually, I hope that was the right one. So we're going to go into the match and hopefully we're going to have some fun. To be fair, one thing I noticed right here, you don't really need to have the best spotting, because you will be able to spot the enemy tanks just by getting on one of those flags. So spotting is not actually even that important. What is much more important to stay alive in this mode. Obviously, everyone is playing a bit differently right now, and we're just gonna join in there. We don't care too much about the ammo. I just want to show you guys what it's like and why it's such a different experience from the standard battle. So right here you can see immediately, you don't know who you're going up against, and what you can also see is that there are 3 different positions. You have the spotting in the middle, one on top of the hill. You have one of the guns on the left, one on the guns on the right. So this is where you can get the artillery. And if I choose my STB1, oh, 1 second, I wanted to go back to the, I wanted to go back to the, to the choice menu, because I already locked my tanking, I can't go back. But you can basically take any vehicle you have in your garage at tier 10 that has a crew in it, and that's quite nice. So you can see everyone has their designated spawns, and everyone has like a choice of playing whatever tank they want to play. So I'm playing the SCB-1. Inside of Himmelsdorf is probably not the smartest move. Everyone here is playing the M4, the M54, because that thing is now really, really powerful. And that's going to be quite interesting because I'm expecting quite a few of them as well on the enemy team. So let's see, is anyone going to the hill? The interesting thing is, because obviously the middle is going to be quite an active war zone. We can also say the same thing about the 1-2 line, I think, because the 1-2 line holds the capture circle. So I'm just gonna be playing this position for a while now, because we're basically just auto-spotting us, and we're gonna be seeing how much damage we can do to this E50M. I'm also in a position where I can't run away very easily, so let me just fall back all the way to the back, because I do not want to be the first one who gets obliterated by a E100 over there. So somebody just got the point up top. Our Udis is now going up against the Batchat and AMX 13105. So that's going to be a very awkward engagement for us when the Udis is going to die. Unfortunately, that's probably going to happen in just a second, because he is not going to get the support that he needs. And I'm not going to drive up there, because I basically just wouldn't be able to do anything in that situation. So let's see if we can do some damage to the Yakman Z100. You can see in the bottom left, I am firing a lot of golds because I want to be able to do the damage, and this is ranked, so I don't really care too much about it. And this is a test server, so you know, I'm just going to be firing gold. You can see that I'm now almost at stage 3 of the Inspire perk. And I'm now going to go look after the AMX 13105 to put some pressure on him. HP wise, it looks quite good for us. We are now ahead by about 1,000, 2,000 HP. The AMX 13105 is now trying to get in behind us. They just lost their Batchat 25T, and the STB1 is just a really good tank. So I'm going to kill this guy, hopefully. I did not, but I'm going to activate the Inspire effect, and this is going to give us much better reload time. It's going to give us quite a bit of freedom, and I'm just going to go and engage the E100 now to seal a good position in the ranking. So it doesn't really matter if he does damage to me, because we have more than enough HP saved up. So basically we can just kind of track this guy, get into a position where we can do both track and damage the 100. We just have to do enough module damage. That would be really nice. So right here, track the E100. He's still running away. But yeah, 3,538 damage. Well, Yak Panzer 100 we can hit from here. No longer. I'm gonna switch over to Heat. So yeah, there are going to be certain vehicles that will actually do a lot better than other vehicles in this mode. And I think it's going to be going into the direction, you know, of how much, like, what is the meta vehicle right now. Artillery knocks him out in the end, but we still did 4,282 damage. And yeah, our team managed to kind of hold the middle. I think the four M454s, they really did their job. They were just able to bounce everything, while the enemy team just didn't really have any real push. So 39 points for us to rank up. So we got into Division C. And 147 points of prestige points. Yes, exactly. Now, I don't know exactly how it's calculated, like how many points I get in the end, but it's not like that the prestige points are the rating points. So these numbers are still a bit weird to me. I would really like how Wargaming calculates this, but still, we get that, we win it, and there is no competition in terms of, are you going to go down, are you going to go up? All of these things, they don't really mean too much. Because it's, in the end, it's all about winning. The winning is the most important part here. If you lose, you're not going to get enough points, but if you're winning, you are going to go further. So that's going to be the main idea behind it, not like with ranked, the other ranked version, where it's all about just doing good enough that you are not going down, but now you have to kind of win. So I think this is a nice little refreshing, well, change. It's a very simple mode. It's not like it's something we have not seen before. It's very simple. It has some elements from Frontlines, but you have all of the choices. You can play whatever you want to play. And I think, generally speaking, I really like this system. So I'm looking forward to seeing this on the live server. We're probably going to do a live stream in the next few days where we're going to play a few more games, try out a few more tanks, try out a few more of these special abilities that we have right here. And yeah, hopefully we're gonna be seeing some cool stuff. So hope you guys did like this preview. As always, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, have a nice weekend.